Tonight, we have more from Bret Baier's sit-down interview with Vice President J.D. Vance. They spoke yesterday in South Carolina, and the conversation turned to 2028 and who might be on the ballot.
You talk a lot about policy, but just the politics, and I know it's very Washington to talk about politics, but when the president says 2028 and he has the Trump 2028 hat, what do you think? I mean, are you thinking, is this real? Are you thinking about that? What's your reaction to that?
So I was at the Oval Office a couple days ago, and there were some Trump 2028 hats floating around. And I put one on. I said, Mr. President, if you took a photo of this would go super viral.
Yeah.
And we joked about it and laughed. Look, what I've said, Brett, is I think that the president and I are going to be working together for years to come. I think that we have a rare opportunity over these next 3 years to actually undo a lot of damage that was caused by not just the Biden administration, by 40 years of failed policy, but I think build a true American renaissance. That's what we're excited about. That's what I'm going to try to do. And if we succeed, then the politics will take care of themselves. And if we don't succeed, the politics will take care of themselves that way.
But you don't really think he's running in 2028, do you?
I'll let the president speak to his political future. I think the president, one thing I'll say about the president of the United States is he loves to have a good time with the American media. And I really do think that if we take care of business over the next 3 years, we're going to be in a great position politically, whoever ultimately runs as the president of the United States in 2028.
On the Democratic side, do you think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, is the new leader? Could it be Vance AOC in 2028?
President AOC, the stuff of nightmares, Brett. Thank you. You've ruined my sleep for this evening.
Who is the leader of the Democratic Party?
I don't know. Honestly,
Do you think about it?
I think to the extent the Democrats have a leader, Donald J. Trump is the leader of the Democratic Party.
They're against him.
Because they're just against everything that he does. I mean, who could possibly disagree with rebuilding American manufacturing and ensuring these steelworkers have higher wages and better jobs? But anytime Donald Trump does anything, they have this emotional response. They have to be against it. Who could disagree with deporting millions of illegal aliens, many of whom are violent criminals? But they do. They have. And I think that what they do is whenever Donald J. Trump does something, they react negatively to it. They don't have real leadership. And I think it's why I'm not too concerned about 2028, because if I wake up in a fantasy world where the Democrats actually have constructive ideas about how to govern this country, that'll actually be a good thing. But if in the world that we actually live in, where they're just anti-Trump about everything, the politics of 2028 will take care of themselves.
I know the president talks about polls, and he's not a fan of how the polls are done. But the approval ratings for you, for the president, if you look at the polls, not just one, but a span of them, are not great 100 days in. They're great on border security, but on the economy and overall approval, it's a little underwater. And how do you look at that? What do you think that is from?
Yeah, so I'm a firm believer, Brett, that in the modern era, in 2025, opinion pollsters just don't know how to capture most Americans. They don't answer the phones. If they do answer the phone, they hang up immediately. I saw this in the 2024 election where, remember, I lived through this even more personally than you did, where every mainstream media pollster said Kamala Harris is going to win the popular vote. Kamala Harris is going to win 6 of 7, maybe even 7 battleground states. And there's one pollster I really trust. His name's Tony Fabrizio. I said, Tony, what's actually going on? And he said, unless I stopped knowing how to do my thing, we're going to win 7 of 7 battleground states, and you guys are going to win the national popular vote. You've got to be able to go to people where they are. I think that, again, you do a good job, you worry about the polls later, the politics will take care of itself. I mean, for the reasons I just said, I really am skeptical of these polls, Brett. I also just don't really care that much about the polls, even if they were accurate, because if we do a good job, if people see the results, then in 3 years, people will be talking about what a great job Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance did. That's all I really care about.
Take care of oneself. The market is unpredictable, but I believe the economy will take care of itself in the long run. To the extent that we can work together, we'll achieve great things. Not a fan of. I'm not a fan of working on weekends, but sometimes it's necessary. A span of. The project will take a span of 3 months to complete. Underwater. After the stock market crash, many people felt like their investments were underwater. Opinion pollster. The opinion pollster is conducting a survey to understand public sentiment about the new policy. Skeptical. She's skeptical about the new project because she thinks it may not succeed. Go viral. The video of the cat playing the piano went viral and became a global sensation.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.